We're lost, Nathan. What do we do? You're the navigator.
I've got to calculate the height. Quick, sharp. How high is that star? Get on it.
How do we calculate the height, Nathan?
I don't know, but it's going to save our lives if we figure it out quick, sharper when we're lost here.
Or you know actually how high it really is.
Hold on a second. Maybe someone on board already knows the height.
And we're off. How's it going out there, guys? Feel rejuvenated and motivated? Got a great show lined up for you today, as far as you know. As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. Let's go and cut over to Discord where the beautiful Betty Van Velsen is over there and see how she's doing. Haven't talked to her in a couple days. What's up, Betty?
This guy?
Sky, son of a... I run into that every time.
Well, it's Nathan's, right? So,
Yeah, Nathan's
Yeah.
nonsense.
well, it works.
Yeah.
Totally off the game. Say, why didn't you? Because you did that last time in Discord. You also streamed live so that we can hear your stuff that you put on your computer. Maybe that works for the intro as well, so that we can hear it right when it starts.
Yeah, but I can only share one screen at a time in Discord. Yeah, it's just a...
Well, at least we might be able to hear the sound. I don't know. Maybe we try it next time.
It's just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day, you were able to transfer the sound.
Yeah, that's when I kept on playing squirrely with Voice Meter Banana.
Yeah. Well done. And suddenly stopped because it was just getting not better, but worse.
Yeah, it went down the tubes. I tried a number of combinations with it here recently, and it didn't work, and then I lost my original settings, and I said, you know what? Heck with that.
And with every update, you lose your settings. Huh?
Well, it depends, because it seems like Windows updates is a little bit bipolar on many different levels. So you never know what sound setting it's gonna mess with. It could be Discord one time, it could be Skype one time, it could be the computer settings. You just never know.
A box of chocolates.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like a box of chocolates. So you got to be prepared for anything. Any Windows update, I got to be. I don't know if it happens to anyone else. I think it does. They just don't talk about it.
It seems to do everything with the sound. Every time they have an update, right?
Yes.
Something is off every time with the sound. You can notice that's why there was an update. Why they are so interesting in sound?
Don't know. I have no idea. But the video or the audio that you didn't hear was Dave Twangle's McKeegan absolutely train wrecking himself with a rebuttal to Nathan, and I have got to say that it's well up there with the most Dunning-Kruger numpty dipshit I have ever seen in my life. It was that hilarious. So that was just one small part. I really liked that part, so I had to pull that out of there.
Well, you do that fast then, huh? When was this?
I did it this morning.
This morning. Wow. You go guy. You go guy.
I got substance.
No, you nick it from someone else.
What other guests do we have in here today, Betty?
Well, we got a whole slew of them.
Really?
Yeah, I think that Righteous brought them in. So we got Righteous Force.
Hello.
Hey, Righteous. You have to say hi. And we got Adam Meakin, for example. He was there already.
He's an example.
Yeah.
You
He's
may
a-
begin. Hey,
He's a specimen, all right.
Nathan said we may begin. Okay, listen. What I'm going to do is, since you guys didn't hear it, I'm going to play it again. And since Nathan's here, I'm thinking about.
Maybe.
I'm going to think about playing it again. Let me see if it'll pull up. 1 second, Betty. Sorry to interrupt.
Well,
Let's see. Let's see.
I've been ordered to do so. As Flat on the Curve says, Betty, turn QE loose.
All right, here we go. Here we go. We're lost, Nathan. What do we do? You're the navigator.
I got to calculate the height. Quick, sharp. How high is that star? Get on it.
How do we calculate the height, Nathan?
I don't know, but it's going to save our lives if we figure it out quick, sharper when we're lost here.
Or you know actually how high it really is.
Hold on a second. Maybe someone on board already knows the height.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on mute. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Twangles McKeegan trying to get the height of stars through celestial navigation. You can't make this up. There you go, Betty. You happy?
Is that required?
Is that what?
Required.
No, that's the point.
That's the point, even.
Yeah, that's the point. Dave Twangles McKeegan is trying in celestial navigation. He's trying to solve the right triangle and get the
And a
height.
horizontal baseline.
The hell? Are you hearing me? Brian.
Yeah, I was talking and you started talking in the middle of what
No, sir.
Yeah, I did. I didn't hear anything. I started saying it was that when he used angular size change and horizontal baseline, and you said to get the height, and I just shut up then.
No, you weren't talking. You may have been talking into your mic, but it wasn't coming through OBS, that's for sure. That's all right. Go.
Well,
go.
one of us was talking for sure.
Yeah, I was. Yes, me. So
And me.
And you. Jeez, oh man, this is starting off with crack.
Blame Adam.
Can't blame Adam.
Don't blame me. I don't know what to do with the height of a star.
Betty, you should have seen this. It was a train wreck of epic proportions. You'd get cross-eyed in like 5 minutes after he debunks his own argument. It was really bad.
Don't they all?
Yes, but he did it eloquently.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, it is with him. I just don't know. I really I was speechless for a while.
Oh, well, that takes something.
I knew where he was going, right? Because that's the only place he could go, but I didn't think he was smart enough to know where he was going.
Well, you got that with people.
Yeah, you're mumbling.
Yeah, I was thinking of that saying with the clock is right twice.
Not a clock is right twice. What?
When it's standing still, something like that. That's saying.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Betty is that saying.
Thanks, Brian. That's the thing that I was looking for.
It's
yes.
it's broken military clocks only right once a day.
Yeah, but those are foolish.
They are not. What do you mean foolish?
Foolish.
Foolish. It's just a stupid clock.
Playing war every day. It's not good.
Nathan said, "You mean eloquently?" Because Betty, Dave.
Yeah.
Did you hear I said Dave Triangles McKeegan? He used to be known as Dave Triangles McKeegan, but when he said triangles on his show, he said triangles.
Ah, so he's Bugs Bunny now.
No, Elmer Fudd.
Oh, well, Bugs Bunny does also have a sort of an accent, does he?
You need to speak up.
He is also rabbity. Rabbit.
Elevation. No, he's not. It's Elmer Fudd, Betty.
Oh, I guess I'm behind on my cartoons.
Yeah,
watching.
you're not. You're not up to date with the cartoon debate.
Is there a cartoon debate?
I just made that up.
I think.
Go ahead, Brian.
I think Betty's talking about Sylvester. She might be remembering Sylvester the cat.
Oh,
Who
God.
had a lisp.
Yeah, Sylvester also has that. Yes. Yep.
Suffering secretary.
Oh, God. That's a little inside joke. That's a little inside joke. Just let everyone know between Betty and somebody else.
Elmer Fudd.
It's not Tweety Bird either. Jesus, guys out in chat, start getting your act together. Goodness sakes.
Well, that's what the cat said, right? Sylvester says, I thought I saw a Tweety Bird.
But I thought I saw a putty tap, but that doesn't have anything to do with triangles.
Triangles?
All right.
Bugs Bunny doesn't have a speech impediment. Just
All right.
That's a good one.
That's all we got for today.
Can I add something?
I'm thinking no.
Well, I think it's best I do. The only reason that any of us jumped on his mistake with his speech impediment, the only reason Nathan or anyone jumped on that, we never would have jumped on that if he hadn't started off, instead of addressing Nathan and addressing the arguments, he started off with personal attacks on Nathan, attacking Nathan over something stupid from years ago, where he mixed up how many meters were in a kilometer or something. You know, this is what he started with. So if Dave starts with that, he can't complain about Nathan calling him Dave Triangles McKeegan. You know, no one would have even noticed that. Everyone would have walked straight past that. They wouldn't have cared if he hadn't started that. We don't need all that personal nonsense. I wouldn't have even gone down that road. I wouldn't have cared. I still would have called him Triangles. But Nathan said, no, he attacked me personally, so now he's going to get it. And now he's stuck with that. He'll be known as Triangles forever. He'll be getting #Triangles. You know, that's what Flat Earth is going to be doing to him. Just stay away from personal attacks, you know. He still would have been known as Triangles. Don't get me wrong. That would have definitely, but he wouldn't have been called Triangles.
Thanks.
Just adding some balance there.
Thanks for clearing that up, Brian. I didn't know that he had a lisp. When I was listening to the video, I couldn't tell until that word.
It might only just be that word. I mean, it might just be that one time. That's the problem with personal attacks. Once you start them, someone else will find something, and it doesn't have to be much. The smallest little thing is all they need, and they can stick it to you if it makes you look stupid, and you're stuck with it. With it forever.
So you're saying he has a conditional speech impediment? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we can all mix up. We can all say a word wrong now and again. I'm sure I've mixed up. As I'm saying a word, I'm sure I've messed up.
No.
1,000 times. Do you know what I mean? It happens. You know what I mean? You're going to mess up a word. And if somebody is looking for something personal because you were personal with them, they'll find that thing and they'll use it against you. If he just had stayed away from personal, Just stick with the arguments. Stay out of the personal. But they can't. Our opposition can't stay away from personal attacks. Character assassinations. They just can't stop. Because it's all they got.
Agreed. You plum. We finally got it.
Look at us, guys. The shining example of the discourse. Yeah.
All right. So what else is happening?
I didn't know. Maybe a triangle is when it's for spherical surfaces. So it could be just a shortening of spherical triangle.
Well, share your screen and show us.
Gee, what a squeeze. I don't, we all misspeak. And that's funny. But listen to the actual speaking. That's a lot more worthy of ridicule than dropping a W in a word.
Really, when he outlined how you obtain elevation angles of the bottle and then went ahead later on in the presentation and debunked it. Or, I'm sorry, he obtained an elevation angle to a bottle to get its height, correct? And then he went and debunked it later on. I think he's got ADHD or something. But they all have, to some degree, because they do debunk themselves, usually in the same presentation multiple times. But like I said, this was eloquently put forward and just kept on beating himself in the face with a spade shovel.
Well, what he tried to do, if you don't mind me speaking up, what he tried to do was somehow create a straw man that was supposed to hurt us by using angular size change and a horizontal baseline to take the angular size or figure out the actual height of something via its angular height, right? Now, he invoked not only horizontal baseline and all that, but he invoked perspective. Now, there was no horizontal baselines on the globe, Earth, and there was no perspective within the globe mass. Two things that are definitely, and he demonstrated that these two things definitely existed in reality. So he destroyed his own globe and proved it was flat via that demonstration and explanation. But then he went on to try and hijack actual elevation angles to elevation angles somehow for his model, but then he couldn't even do that because he needs a horizontal baseline, and he went on to show how he can't get the height of a celestial body on his own model, completely nullifying his whole straw man that he destroyed his own model with.
I thought he went about it. I have a different take on it. I thought he was debunking. This is really, let me see if I can put this in some semblance of coherency. He was stating that because you got an erroneous distance measurement from an elevation angle to Polaris, because with trigonometry, you'd have to get what the current claim of the height of Polaris above the Earth is 433 light years. So he was trying to say, because you can't get the height correct 433 light years with his elevation angle, therefore there is no need for the adjacent to be flat. That's what it is.
Well, I would feel it different. No, I can't say you're wrong about that.
No, I'm not.
That might have been also what he was trying to point out. But
no, that was his whole point. No, that was his whole point.
I view it different because I've gotten this straw. We've probably all dealt with it. I definitely dealt with it a load of times in the past year or more from the opposition side, where the ballers, they're trying to strawman us with the solving of the right triangle. Even
Yes.
Bevan them didn't get that, right?
Yes.
When it comes to celestial navigation elevation angles. So they're trying to strawman us with this nonsense.
Yes.
Now, Bevan them weren't trying to strawman, but they just don't understand it. But what they're trying to do is hijack the actual elevation angle for their model, but then claim that it's not an angle, it's not a triangle. they're trying to claim it's not a triangle. The celestial navigation elevation angle is not a right angle triangle. They're trying to claim it's not a triangle. That's what they're trying to do. If you go through the logical inference of what they're claiming,
that's what I just said.
Man us.
That's what I just said, Brian.
Yes, but it's. I'm trying to point out how stupid that is. It's like,
Yeah, I know. I got it. You weren't saying anything different. We just got there in different ways. Shout out to Tony Wickham. When Dave, you mean Dave Twangles? When Dave Twangles says he's going to twerk, he means he's going to work. Don't get confused, people. Thanks a lot, Tony. Appreciate it. Adam, you got a take on this?
Yeah, Tony's, that made me giggle. Yeah, the first point, it's a bit like, where's your edge? Because if they're going to hold us to say that the opposite needs to have a height defined, they define theirs as virtually infinity.
Yes.
You know, it seems an odd thing to attack when it's clearly defined in celestial navigation. This concept, there is no star height. You're not doing that.
Yeah.
So it just seems an odd thing to attack because, again, we're not attacking flat Earth opinion here. We're attacking celestial navigation and its claims. So
he's getting confused. He's getting confused between solving the right triangle and right triangles used in celestial navigation. Is that concise enough for you?
Yeah. In celestial navigation, now you can go and use trigonometry. I've not seen his video, but if he's stuck a bottle and he's making triangles, if that was a lighthouse at sea, then you will use standard trigonometry with, again, a flat baseline, though. Yeah, the sea. So you're going to measure the elevation angle of the lighthouse and use that to chart your position. But in this case, you can. You're actually going to use the opposite, the adjacent, because it's actually a known height. Because you've got the angle and a known height, you can then work out the adjacent length, therefore your distance to the object. So that with land-based navigation, celestial, you are doing proper trig. It's not supposed even in celestial navigation. So fundamentally a straw man. But I'd say when you look at their claim with that aspect in mind of trying to apply a distance the opposite, theirs is even more silly because it does try and claim stuff all at infinity. So an odd point to attack.
Yes, I'd just like to solve this, people, with the from the Smithsonian. It's on screen right now. Sorry, guys, you can't see it because I'm not sharing it. A sextant is used to measure the altitude of a celestial body above a horizontal line of reference. Altitude, here's the rub. Altitude, in this case, is a special use of the word describing an angular measure, not a distance. I don't know why they say in feet above sea level. It should just state not a distance above sea level. Everyone get it? So you're not solving right triangles in celestial navigation. You'll never see this. But of course, Dave got confused between celestial navigation and solving right triangles. That's where his problem lies. Because he's a Dunning-Kruger numpty. That's it. So, go ahead.
I think it's like Superman trying to rob the kryptonite off you. Do you know what I mean? What are they trying to rob from us? Elevation angles. They can't work on the thing that debunks your globe. Do you know what I mean? It's like me robbing poison off of you. What good is that to me? It kills me then. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. You know, that argument of you'd have to solve for the height of the celestial body. Because all they're doing is an overall hijack of celestial navigation. You know, even though they are the ones with a height claim to things like Polaris, not us. But because we don't have their stupid claims, they're trying to straw man us as needing these to make these stupid claims so they can then somehow debunk us and then they can use the elevation angles on their model. What are ye on about? I mean,
What, right?
come
I
on.
wonder if it's just deflection, a really obvious one. There's not much to deflect in a triangle. We've got the hypotenuse, the adjacent, and the opposite, and they're screaming about this opposite, aren't they? Look over here, look over here. Why? Well, what they can't do is look at the adjacent. Look at triangles, McKeegan. Yeah, that's his biggest problem. As much as they try, they end up with a curved adjacent. Consequently, no triangles, Dave.
Well, I tell you something funny that's after happening to me in the past 24 hours. I won't name the person, but I have one of the ballers. He's not the first person, but I have one of the ballers trying to appeal to me to represent their model in my videos less devastating. He's trying to offer me, he's trying to offer me suggestions on how I can make it sound less bad.
Make it sound.
Make it seem less bad.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Do you show a model in one of the videos, the globe Earth model? Really?
I just show what the outcome of their claims is.
That models don't sound. We look at them.
Okay, that's just the way I speak. It's from my upbringing, where I grew up, so it's just bad grammar.
No, it's not. It's not your problem. No, because he said how it sounds, right? You have to put it in a better light. Have to put what in a better light?
Yeah, exactly. How can I represent what they claim visually within something like GeoGebra without representing it?
No.
I can't.
No. How can you represent the globe tard model when it doesn't exist?
I understand. Yeah, that's a good point.
People aren't catching on to this. I would figure after about 5 years. Betty, you listening to this? Sorry, Betty. I read out one of your super chats. Did you go and get coffee or something?
Yeah, because I'm not needed, right?
I figured that's why you were so quiet. All right, let me involve you. If there's any other super chats, Betty, I'm sorry. I just read it out. I guess I fallen back to when you weren't here. And let Adam do it.
Feel so useless, right?
So, Betty, at least 5 years, I've been asking for this heliocentric globe-tard model, haven't I? Anytime they say model, I've been asking for it.
Yeah, you sent Catexus on a mission too, and he was getting some hilarious results.
Yeah, he was. Have you ever seen the globe-tard model?
Nope.
Anyone on the panel, has anyone ever?
I have seen the ball in the globe ball models, which they say this is not a model or something, or this is not underneath. That's it. But no.
No. So, has anyone on the panel ever seen the globe-tard or the heliocentric model? Anyone?
I got given Stellarium as their model, but that uses a horizontal baseline.
No, that's stellarium.
Yeah.
That's not
no, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
What do you want? A kind of high school project?
They keep claiming it, Adam. I just want to, if they're going to claim it, well, according to our model, okay, where is it? Can we see it? I mean, it logically follows if we want to be thorough, right? Everyone says according to their model and this model and that model. It's a fair question. Now, can you show it to us so we can see if it's according to it? Yeah, makes sense.
Did somebody say that the what was it again? That globe Earth, or where you can see sort of zoom in on different places? That was maybe the globe model. that you guys one time said no, it's not because it's our model basically.
Mm,
Remember?
no.
I think that people say that the Google Earth is their model.
Google Earth, I thought we already did a presentation on that some years ago saying that represented flat Earth.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's why. But it's just a model, right? It's just something to look at.
It's just I don't think that's a model. That's Google Earth.
Yeah. Well, they model it as a ball, don't they?
They model it as a ball. Define model.
Something that represents something.
Something that represents something. That's really good.
Yeah, because you can fill in anything in that something.
All right. Listen, I'm not going to ask you for a citation of definition of a model. It was just to make a point. Want to stay on good terms with you.
Oh, if I'm looking at a model, for example, a model of a plane, right? I'm looking at a miniature thing, something that is representing a bigger plane that really flies and exists.
Okay, so it just has to be something smaller then.
Yeah, or digitalized, because I can also watch of a model on a flat screen, right?
Okay.
Because they sometimes explain how you can put together a model, and you can see that explained in 3D drawings.
But and I hate to be pedantic here.
Oh, you are.
But they do, and I heard this last night that their model makes predictions. Now, does that airplane model that you're looking at, does that make predictions?
Not really. Just that they say that there's some device that flies.
Well, it's there's a problem then. They must be talking about a different type of model then.
Yeah. Okay.
I see. Now we're getting down to the brass tacks. So we're going to have them define what model it is, whether it's a runway model, an airplane model, like you said, or some type of other model. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Hopefully everyone...
Well, it won't.
That way, they can say, okay, here you have a ball, and that's the miniature ball of our Earth, right? That's what they say.
Go ahead,
I
Brian.
was going to say, thank you. I was going to say it works in their favor to not produce a model, because then they're not stuck to a claim. So not being able to produce one works in their favor, because then they can change it at will. You know, that's what they're always doing.
I remember them coming with that claim the whole time. I remember being on a debate with Reg Rhetoric. Where's your model? And if you don't have a model, we don't speak to each other.
Then what was your response?
I should have said, well, show me yours.
Yeah, exactly. Little quid pro quo action. Let's see your model first. There, Reds, Pretenderic.
Yeah.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, playground stuff, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're supposed to produce the thing that they are not producing. Once again. Yeah, once again.
Okay, anything else?
Are we done with the models?
Yeah, I think we've beaten that horse to death.
Oh, it's a horse model.
Even though I hear a lot of flat earthers, I'll be quiet in the background, and a baller will come in and say, model, 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 and no one says anything. I guess that for the most part, they want to talk about Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I was thinking about that last week that you had a mission to go to 24/7 for something. What was that again?
Oh yeah, I had to go there and test something out. What was that? I can't even remember.
You didn't do that, right?
I don't think I did. I think I forgot. Like I said, I've been more or less involved, and the days here have been so absolutely gorgeous. From Saturday, Sunday, yesterday, and today, it's been like 72 degrees, nice gentle breeze, and sunny. And listen, I'm going out of my mind. I mean, I'm outside, making it happen.
What? What are you making happen? The world go around?
I'm trying to. I'm just. How do you want to say? I'm a spectator. I'm trying to discover and ascertain The mysterious flight of the arrow.
You know, back in the day when you first started, I thought, does this guy ever get outside? Because you were here commenting on any video that would. You were like a hunter, right? Like you had different arrows on your quiver back then, I think. And you made these really hilarious like comments on these people's videos, and it was so amazing. And but it took so. I know that it must have taken much time, and you didn't get out much. But now, whenever the sun is out there, you are out there.
Yeah, that's correct. So I was more or less a recluse in here for some years. Yeah, but I had to educate myself for the most part. You just caught the last part of it where my comments were. But I guess your overall point is correct. I spent a lot of time sitting in front of this computer, yes.
Yeah. And now, basically, everything's been discovered for the flat Earth, isn't it? Or hasn't it?
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Yeah.
So it's like whack-a-mole. I can just come in and just whack-a-mole. Come on, Betty. It's been 7 years.
That's true.
We're going to go over one of the proofs here in a few minutes. I mean,
every 7th year is sort of a jubilee.
It's a jubilee year. We get to free the numpties.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Free the slaves, huh?
Exactly. You caught on to that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but I'm not exactly freeing them, if you know what I mean.
Well, you free their minds, but they don't want to. They don't want to go. They stay in their cages.
Yeah. So what do you want me to do? I already got all the proofs, and we're going to discover one on my website. Just go to the website if there's any question. There is no more argument. In fact, technically, the argument ended in 2016. It really did. It may have been a bit earlier, 2015. The argument has been dead. Now, officially, if you go to my website, it's not just me. There's a lot of people that have solid flat Earth proofs, although I haven't seen too many recently. And I'm just not pointing out myself, but it's documented. Just go there, like we're going to go there in a few minutes, and you can look at 7 flat Earth proofs. I call them flat Earth proofs. This one concerning the vacuum of space isn't directly a flat Earth proof. It just destroys the entire heliocentric model that doesn't exist. So, but they're connected, and you could go there and just, it's, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. There's no opinions. There's no agree to disagree. Okay? It's not a subjective topic. I'm getting fired up. And you know who I'm talking about. Pretender clown who prostituted himself. Shits at 60. Yeah. There is no agree and disagree on the nature of our reality. It either is or it ain't. Is or is you ain't a flat earther, sunshine. Hey! Clown fuck. Decapitated your dumb ass, pulled your entrails out through your mouth 6 months ago. Now you're going to respawn and start playing like nothing ever happened. You got a rude awakening coming, son. That's all I got to say about that for now. See, you got me all hyped up, Betty. What? You're provoking me.
Me? Little old me? Oh, you got a super chat.
Damn, go, Betty.
It's from James Richard, and he says, if globe-tarts don't have a globe sitting in a vacuum with a gas stuck in the ball, without the gas dispersing into the entire vacuum, then they don't have a model. That's what he says.
Thanks, James. Appreciate it, man. Was somebody trying to get in on Betty's super chat, or were you echoing through somebody?
Nope. Somebody was getting into it, but it.
Just Dave R. Just
Dave R. Go on mute. Oh,
sorry, my bad.
No, not a problem. Oh, and by the way, this moot stuff, Betty, because it's so far removed when it happened. You know, the moot and mute thing, and
Nobody knows.
you already know, right? You've got people just go on moot, and people are putting the heels to them, say that's not moot, that's a mute button, right? They're not getting it. So should we tell everyone where that came from?
I think you better, because they might make a soundbite out of you.
So, some years ago, like in 2016, Timmy Clown, Tim Osmond, kept on getting moot and mute confused. And I would sit back here and I wouldn't say anything, and I would text Cathexis that he was screwing up moot and mute, right? And every time he'd do it a lot, I would lose it, but I wouldn't. I'd go on moot, ironically, and just lose it, and then we'd laugh together. And this went on for like 6 months. So I decided to change the English vernacular and substitute moot for mute, and vice versa. And so it's been an ongoing thing. Now we're far removed from that. And what's been happening here? I don't know who it was, that said, just go on moot, and everyone started laughing because they thought the person was dumb and got the words confused. So, just relax out there, people. We're not getting the words confused. It's an inside joke from that's related or according to Timmy Clown, and that's Tim Osmond for all you new people out there. Good.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot of these sayings and stuff that people, yeah, because we have passer bias, right? We have people that are with us a couple of like shows and maybe years, and then they move on to other like pastures.
Pastures.
And we got new audiences, and they tend not to go back through the whole. Well, how many videos do you got? 500?
Can you believe that? We were looking through it the other day, and I looked at it and said we were trying to find where the information was, of how many videos, because they had moved it. And we're looking at it, and it said 500 videos. I said, 500? My word.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long, long time.
Is that a long time, Betty? You think we should pack it up?
Well, you're always packed up because you're gonna outside and enjoy the sun, huh?
Not today. I'm going to take it easy today. Even though it's, like I said, it's another gorgeous day out there today. I'm just a touch sore. So I figured, yeah. Oh, there you go. There's another one.
Yeah, James Richard again, and he says it's always nice when globetrotters unknowingly prove the Earth is flat. Right, Dave?
He's talking about Dave Twangles McKeegan. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Dave Twangles McKeegan. I think this is a Nathan, I think, did a treatment of him. Am I correct in that, Adam?
Yes, yeah.
Not up to date with the flat Earth debate. What?
It's not that I'm not up to date. You know, sometimes I miss. I got things I got to do, and I miss it. And I just missed the Dave McKeegan things, or some of them until the other day. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, it was a while back, but this is more him responding to Nathan. You know, a bit like Man Dan did with his Your Reference Frames a Ruin video, where they kind of just embarrass themselves. It's one of those. It's I think anyway.
Yes.
As far as I'm aware, Nathan gave up like reviewing their vids a while back. Calls them too low hanging fruit. So yeah, as far as I know, it's them putting out stuff in response to Nathan, but not linking him, by the way, in the video, so people could go and see the video.
Well, that's not Betty's point, Adam.
Oh, I was just making it for Nathan.
Well, thank you. Thanks for droning on. What else? What was their favorite color?
Well, it depends on the season.
I like the way he takes it in stride. I love you, Adam. I do. I have to admit. All right, where was I going to go with this? Oh, yeah. So you bringing up these different reference frames, we were supposed to get together. There's a BALLBUSTERS on Saturday, and we were supposed to get together and try to figure out if we're going to do some type of show accentuating, putting emphasis on the last topic I went over on QE Live. You forget about that?
Where did we get to? Thought we'd made a decision. Can't have been that profound.
No, we didn't make a decision. You were supposed to get back with me after you talked with Nathan about which direction we're going to go with this, Adam.
That didn't happen.
Thanks a lot, Adam. So I think what we're going to do is just have an open panel, and we'll talk about that and more on Dave Twiangle's McKeegan. We're going to have to go over some more of that because it's just too darn good.
Is that what in the BALLBUSTERS Skype chat? All these videos underneath one another?
I think I put a boatload of videos in there, but that was Mortimer. Nathan gets bored quite quickly, and what had happened? What had happened was he was getting ready to do the last video, and his computer broke down right at the beginning of it, and he already created the thumbnail with the Dark Mortimer on it, and his rationale for not doing it, when his computer came back up, his rationale for not doing it over again was he had already made a thumbnail for it. So, yeah, I get it.
We need to adopt that one because I usually make a thumbnail for you, and then the topic goes another way, and I end up making them again and again and again.
Yeah. I knew you'd go that direction. Lovely, thanks.
Yes, I told you I needed to.
Yeah, I know.
It needs to be said. I think I made one thrice, right? Not twice, but thrice.
Twice with triangles.
Yeah, so it was not good.
Well, that wasn't my problem, Betty. That was outside of my control. That's not it. That is not right. Stop rumpusing me. I'm going to tell you what the deal was. It was because Adam.
Just saying something.
It's because Adam and the rest of the Indians would go off on different tangents. Now, those tangents I'm not saying they weren't important to go over, but they would go off on tangents for like 3 weeks in a row, and we couldn't get to the presentation.
Adam and the Indians. I like it.
Made me the chief.
Who are the Indians?
You know who the Indians are.
I have no idea.
Yes, you do.
How would I know?
It's Tano.
Nobody got that.
Flat Earther.
Oh, Betty.
That's the kind of Indian I was thinking about, Betty.
Yes,
Like a
me too.
Maharaja, something.
Yeah,
That's
because
what
that
I was
other
thinking to myself.
thing is also very racist, isn't it?
Hey, Betty. You got Kim Hopkins out there in chat, right? She said, "Let the world hear them pipes, QE." Last night, she was in 24/7, and Miggy wanted to hear Angie. Remember the Angie song I made?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
So we had to play all of them, right? Now, wait a second. Kim.
Do you have any audience left?
Kim is she can actually play guitar and make songs. Guess her name in there is Patsy Cline. So I connected the dots. I said, listen, the reason I made those videos initially, or made the songs, was that you were supposed to, that is Betty, was supposed to also sing a song. Remember, Adam did one. Did Adam do one? I think Adam did one. Sleeping Warrior did one. And then I connected and I said, you know what? Betty was supposed to do a Patsy Cline song. And that's when the Kim Hopkins, who is Patsy Cline in 24/7, she put one of her videos up of her singing and playing guitar. I mean, she's really good. And she said, I just want to pass a message on to you because I said that Betty has to even up with us. She said that she would play guitar of a Patsy Cline song for you so you could sing over.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm usually not the number one vocal. I'm usually the second vocal.
Oh, behind Patsy Cline, right?
Yeah. So when I'm singing with Patsy Cline, I'm singing along with her, but then in a different tone.
I got the perfect name for you, Duchess Klein.
So all in all, the story wrapped.
Someone saying that it would be heresy to sing Patsy Cline. So I thought, well, I will pack it in then.
Well, shit, I already did. Jim Morrison, Jackson Brown, Mick.
Yes, but I mean, yeah, you have differences. You have class and you have non-class.
I did the Cure.
Yeah, but yeah. See, this is just coming back around because we have to even up because you still haven't sang that song.
Yeah, but we have copyright issues, and the one
No. Pay up, Betty.
and the one that did have these hosted the karaoke Flat Earth karaoke thing that back then. I don't think that she's doing that anymore. So
Who started that, Adam?
yeah, that's that girl that Adam went on tour
It was
with.
Roxanne.
Oh, Roxanne started that. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I don't know. Is she still active, Adam? Is she still doing stuff?
Not in Flat Earth really anymore. She's off doing more political stuff. Last I checked with Roxy.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that she was on to other pastures. like I
Yes,
said.
other passions. Yeah, definitely.
Passions and pastures.
No, she said pastures, Adam.
Yeah. Like Jesus says, I
Whether
am
she's in a field doing it or not, but she might have been confused by it.
You're saying that she could be passionate in the field.
There's many things you can do in a field.
I'm sure
Passionate
there
is
are,
one of
you
them.
vixen.
Yeah, there was a few. We're still owed one by Alwyn, who claims he's got the voice of a choir boy.
Yeah,
And Brian, who's probably dropped. Yeah, Brian's dropped, but he was supposed to do one and all.
Did Brian drop?
He's gone.
The hell?
Left us.
Yeah, he's gone.
Did somebody offend him?
You-
Oh, I did.
More
I
than
called him.
normal.
I did. I called him a plump.
Yeah, but I don't think that he left right after that one.
Yeah, I don't think I'm saying that right either because it's plum, right? Say it, Adam.
You're up, you plum.
Plum. Yeah, not a plum, but a plum.
But a plump,
That's how I would announce it. Yeah. Enunciate it. Yeah. Plum.
All right.
Well, that's what I was saying. Plum.
All right, we got it. Plum. All right. Anything else before we get
Are we
started
going
in on the
to get on
presentation?
topics,
Holy
or
goodness gracious!
okay, I will shut up then.
Anything? I'm just that I couldn't get the full question out. Is there anything else before we get to the presentation? Now go.
Yes.
What?
I want to ask Neil what we should. Well, I want to ask Neil what we should do for the 100th Ballbuster.
100th ball bust? No, it's not 100th. We're past 100.
You missed it, Adam.
Special then.
Adam missed it. His great grandmother's sister's daughter's cousin had a bar mitzvah.
She did, didn't she? An honour to be there.
Betty!
Rare event.
Betty!
Yeah. I was laughing so loud. Sister, yes, she was. So good. Well, we got another one from James Richard, and he says, "Everybody is Truman."
That's profound.
And somebody underneath says, "QE wants Betty on moot."
On moot. I know this is, yeah, it's dangerous, man. Tell him about that. This on the same concept. I called, no marbles science, blue marble science, hillbilly blue balls, redneck retard for so long that Betty was looking for something that he said, and she couldn't find his channel because it's not hillbilly blue balls, redneck retard.
I left out the redneck thing, but even the first bit doesn't do it.
You did search for blue balls.
Yes. I didn't know how the guy was who he really was. I wouldn't even know what his name is on his channel anymore. Even now, I've just totally
I
got.
want to know what you came up with, Betty, when you were searching for blue balls.
I'm thinking I've blocked that from my my mind.
Come on, Neil, let's keep it clean. It's okay to say it. It's another thing to delve into it semantically.
Well,
I was searching for the blue marble. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, let's get some semblance in here. It's good to have you back,
That's
Neil,
an
by the way.
American phrase. That's not
Oh.
understood over here. I had to look that up the first time I heard that.
Really?
Mm.
What'd you find out?
I experienced it a lot as a teenager.
Jeez. Okay, we're gonna end it with that. Where are we at here? Let me go back to Discord. We got to get to the presentation. That's why the people came. So I'm gonna share my screen.
That was a good link, to be fair.
What was a good link?
We're talking about pressure, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Well, that's what we're gonna talk about. We haven't talked about it yet. Oh, I get it. Yeah, Adam. You little vixen, you.
somebody in the chat says, "QE, don't be a McTwangle."
Don't be a McTwangle. What the hell kind of obtruseness is that? Let me go back.
Don't be a McTwangle.
So, Adam, are you saying it's pressure that causes those problems?
Yeah. But not of the gaseous variety.
Oh, brother. Okay, that's the end of that. All right, let's go over here. All right, we got to give the people what they came here to see. I can't be false advertising. All right, you guys seeing this in Discord?
Yep. Pressure gradient.
Where do you see pressure gradient at?
No, in the chat. Somebody
Right.
says
Pressure gradient.
Oh, gradient.
everything is with a W now.
Yeah, it's not going to end, is it?
Nope. You started something?
I did not start it. Nathan did.
You did.
No,
Oh,
I
come
did
on.
not.
You
It was
are
definitely
always
Nathan.
the suffering succotash thing.
This has nothing to do with the succotash thing.
Suckering.
To be fair, it was rumpus. Started with the shake.
You sort of robot it or something.
Next Thursday, Neil.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Put acceleration.
Neil, are you done? Neil can't get off the blue balls thing.
We said up with
No.
acceleration.
I was saying that it started with rumpus with his share your screen.
Yeah. Oh,
wanna
that
get
part.
technical.
Yeah, that part did, but not the twangles part. Even though it's the same pronunciation, the same twang, it's not the same thing.
Twang?
Jeez. There we go.
Awarded twangulism quantist.
Jesus.
People have fun with this, man, in the chat.
Damn, it's starting to get warm in here. Oh, you know what I did? I left.
Oh, you got hot flashes too?
No, it's getting it's a little warmer today. It's getting a little warm in here because I got the computer going and, a couple screens and stuff like that. And I got, just take my word for it. It's getting a little toasty in here.
Sweaty.
You got me off my game. Oh, what I did was I left my bathroom window open. It's got a screen, so no woeies. Last night I forgot to close it, and this morning I got woken up by every single bug and bird known to man.
That can't be, because they're not all at your window. Come
I'm telling you, I think they were.
I think they were. Did a large assembly like on
Yes. Yeah.
2 by 2 perhaps?
I didn't look. The window's kind of high. I'd have to stand on the hot tub to look down, and I don't think I can get to the ground anyway.
On the hot tub?
Oh, it's not a hot tub. It's one of those. It's like a it's a vibrating tub.
Even worse.
From Jesus to Moses, boy, have the mighty fallen.
Exactly. He doesn't even know which birds or creatures are at his door.
I guess it's a hot tub if you turn the hot water on.
Does it also bubble?
It does.
Like boiling?
It doesn't boil. You don't want to get into it if it was boiling, Betty.
Well, sort of that look, right? The boiling look, because that's hot tubby, right?
Oh, brother. I'm going to save you. So, on to no vacuum of space. How'd you like that? How'd you like that segue, Betty?
No, bad.
All right, sorry. Let me go back up. The people are going to get angry at you. Go ahead, Betty.
Oh, well, the better than on me than on you, right?
Correct.
Well,
Vacuums suck.
Oh, brother.
all right.
Well, you got to say something, Betty. I just took a little bit of peanut butter. You got to do something.
No. Well, the thing is that I wanted to say, so do you, but that's
So
sort of,
do
I didn't know. So I don't want to sort of insult people.
It feels like a cold front just came in. I caught Betty off guard. She knows. It's an inside joke, folks. Don't worry about it. It's pretty funny, though.
If heat?
No, that's a different one. Now, I did have to almost get resuscitated over that one.
Yeah.
Do you want to go on before we get to the presentation on what that is, or just leave people hanging with that?
No, you can't leave them hanging. You need to say it.
You started it. You deal with it.
When cold, then heat?
All right, listen, we are talking about hypotheses. We weren't talking about hypotheses. It was already clearly established what hypotheses were. And for some reason, I think it was in the wintertime. And it was really cold here, and I think really cold in the Netherlands. And we got on topic about heat and how good it was. And Betty made just a slight comment. So my hypothesis is, and she said something, and I lost it. So I kind of summarized it. How did I summarize it, Betty?
No, you need to do that yourself. I can't repeat myself.
If winter, then heat. And then, listen, folks, I know it doesn't sound funny, right now, but at the time, I had to get up from the computer. I was done for. And then, obviously, if winter, then heat, then you know the equal and opposite of that, right? That one.
The heating, right? In the sense of not heat in the sense of warm weather, but more in the sense of the heating of your house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then after I recovered from that, then I obviously had to come back with the equal and opposite. If summer, then air conditioning, and then I was through. I think I had to leave the call.
I think it was just that, yes.
I can picture that.
I think it was because of the fact that there was a video done by Steve McRae that on the if-then statements in hypotheses.
Oh, that's
And
what
he
it
said
was.
something that wasn't right. Remember that?
Yeah, he put petri dishes inside an oven.
Yes, and then time was the independent variable.
Yes, that's how we got on that. Sorry, folks, that's exactly it. It makes it a lot funnier because I'm struggling right now. It doesn't mean anything to you. And on to the presentation.
Good one.
So, no vacuum of space. Say again?
Have we started yet?
Yeah, we're going to start.
Oh, I went to get me tea. I thought, there's going to be a film. So I've not missed out.
In a vacuum. Let's live in a vacuum. Come on.
Yeah. So this is. Thanks.
It's a good one.
Control yourself. All right. So we got no vacuum of space. This is the oldie but a goodie. Like I had mentioned many times, this is the one that led me to flat Earth in a microsecond. So this has a special place with me. And it always will. I think it's the, I don't want to say the quickest, but I think it has, this one's got teeth that Joe Coffey and Sally Breadmaker, you notice I didn't say Betty, Sally Breadmaker will get very quickly, right? Because people have dealt with gas pressure before, and they know what gas pressure is, and they know what needs to be in place to have gas pressure. So it's very simple, and like I said, it's got teeth, and there's really no way around it. It's pretty funny to just sit back and listen, and we're going to go over a couple of comebacks here from the Baltards that I have written down. Also, I'd like to say I got atmospheric pressure here. Listen, folks, yes, it's a paradox. I didn't want to go down that trail with the public, so I just put atmospheric so they know what I meant. So we can clear that up, right? So I don't have to say that it's a paradox. You already know it's a paradox. The atmospheric, it's a paradoxical statement. It's like married bachelors. Why? Because atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere, the second part of this, is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape, period. So that's a paradox. Got it? Good. So we don't have to, if I say atmospheric down here more, I'm not going to stop. I'll just say atmospheric and you know the deal. So obviously the question is, how do you have gas pressure, that is atmospheric pressure, without a container? To begin with, when, and this is from chemistry at elmhurst.edu, the pressure of a gas is a force that the gas exerts on the walls of its container. So do you see how the question follows logically from what the phrase means, gas pressure? Hopefully everyone got that. It logically follows then your next question, because we have gas pressure or air pressure on the Earth, then there must be a container, or you're going to have to change this definition. That's what's going to have to happen. And of course, that's not going to happen because that's what it is. So I said, please, I can't wait to hear this yarn, because you can't have, like I said, you can't have gas pressure in an open system. Duh. Married bachelors are more tenable. So basically, please explain how you can have a tire pressure without the tire. Does everyone get the analogy? It doesn't go too far, right? It's right on point. So that's what when it gets down to brass tacks, that's what they're going to have to show. Or you don't have gas pressure, because it's a necessary antecedent. It's in the definition. So more formally, how can you have a vacuum, outer space, attached to a non-vacuum that's an open system? Earth, without a physical barrier in the same system simultaneously, without bludgeoning to a bloody pulp the laws of entropy. That's the second law of thermodynamics. Yep. That's it. That's the question. It has to be answered. And it can't be, as you all know. In other words, how are you still breathing and adhering to your fairy tale religion both at the same time? Because that's a contradiction. Can't have both of these at the same time. Then define, that's why I said, then define the law of contradiction or non-contradiction. Then please list each fairy tale associated with outer space that gets taken out back to the woodshed and bludgeoned senseless as a result of the fairy tale vacuum of space vaporizing. See the play on words there? Number 3, and this is kind of fun. How in the world did the Earth form an atmosphere at all in a vacuum? From a big bang? Have you ever heard nature abhors a vacuum? I wonder why that is, by chance. That's why I said, why is that? Boy, I'm preempting this stuff. So I'm just going from memory. P.S. Remember Arthur Eddington said, if your theory is found to be against the second law of thermodynamics, I can give you no hope, for there is nothing for your theory but to collapse in the deepest humiliation. So if it violates the second law of thermodynamics, folks, then it's hogwash, horsepucky. Bullshit, in other words. Here we go. Brain dead ballers. Everyone knows this one because we still get it today. This 7 years ago. Brain dead ballers come back. But we have gas pressure gradients, QE. So, why do spinning space monkeys, and I trademarked it here, continue to wholesale dodge the very simple question to support their fairy tale religion? Because it's a very simple question. How do you have gas pressure without a container? The Rhodes Scholars, why isn't there a container between Mount Everest and sea level debacle? Right? That's what we get. The rocket surgeons actually think this up above, triple your pleasure fallacy, is a reasoned response to the question. So I'm going to try to break it down for them. I'll break out the crayons as long as they promise not to munch them. Which comes first? Number 1, gas pressure, that's X. Or their appeal, gas pressure gradients, delta X. Because there can't be a delta X before you have an X. In other words, Kreitis Vretes. Did I say that good, Betty?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, does anyone know what Kreitis Vretes are? They're not a potato chip. That's crayon munchers in Dutch. Shout out to Betty. In other words, Kreitis Vretes. Before number 2, this guy, number 1 must friggin' exist. And that's what our query is on. Number 1. So again, how do you have a gas pressure without a container, crayon muncher? Because you're not getting away with the gradients. Brain dead ballers. Can you show? Oh, not only the brain dead ballers, some flat earthers now. Pretender clown type. One eaches have this question. Can you show us the container? And or what is the container made of? Either one or both. I never anticipated those rigorous intellectual questions. Are they gotchas? Sorry about the male symbol here. I got to get with my web designer. It's just throwing male symbols into my presentations for some reason. Maybe it's got a testosterone thing. So, necessary antecedent consequent game. Listen up, folks. I'm going to give you an analogy. I hate to use analogies, but sometimes they're useful. Sometimes they get people off the beaten path. But I think this one is useful. So it's really quite simple. The consequent is gas pressure. The necessary antecedent is a container. Just like the consequent filet mignon and the necessary antecedent a cow. You see, you can't have this without that first. Follow? You see, if it's already clearly established, that is factual, that to have filet mignon, cows must exist, and that's clearly factual, then if someone slaps a filet mignon down on my dinner table, then I know with absolute certainty that a cow must exist or have existed without ever seeing or needing to see a cow or the data for a cow or the color of the cow or how long the cow's tail is. Everyone follow that. I.e., that is, gas or air pressure is the filet mignon in this example, and the container is the cow. So, I know it's difficult for ball-tard spinning space monkeys, that's a trademark, and some flat earthers and their ilk to process this. Just have one of your slobber nurses explain it to you. Because I can't break it down any further. Clowns. Ballers claim. This is a good one. The Earth is a containerless, open, pressurized system. Ballers' evidence? Walk outside. I'm telling you, folks, I just didn't make these up. This is the Elmer Fudd circle jerk of the millennium. Mr. Magoo is actually blushing. Tantamount to, the wind is generated by black holes interacting with dark energy. My evidence? Walk outside. That's what it's tantamount to. And they think they're friggin' intellectuals. Gas behavior from the chemistry department at Purdue University. Particles in a gas vibrate and move freely at high speeds. Freely. In every single direction. From sciencelearn.org, the atoms and molecules in gases are much more spread out than in solids or liquids. They vibrate and move freely at high speeds. A gas will fill any container. But if the container is not sealed, the gas will escape. I know a lot of people have problems. Shout out to Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard, a.k.a. the photosynthetic redneck, a.k.a. Mr. Gumby Football Field that doesn't know the meaning of will. You know what I'm talking about, don't you, you slobber monkey? Allow me to define will for you. Will, it's a modal verb expressing the future tense. It will. It's not doing it now, it will. What's the next definition? Run. You window-licking, crayon-munching bozos. Okay, run. Move at a faster speed or move at a speed faster than a walk. Never having both feet on the ground at the same time. Is that good for you? Fucking clowns. Back to chemistry in Elmhurst. The pressure of a gas is the force that the gas exerts on the walls of its container. Everyone noticed the walls. We haven't got rid of that. It's still attached by the lips. Back to chemistry at Elmhurst EDU. Kinetic molecular theory explanation of Boyle's gas law. Observations about pressure may be explained using the following ideas. The rapid motion and collisions of molecules with the walls of the container, this is the most important part right here, causes pressure. Meaning, if you don't have this container, you lose this. Hope everyone's got that. Pressure is proportional to the number of molecular collisions and the force of the collisions in a particular area. The more collisions of gas molecules with the walls of what? Well, a container. The higher the pressure. Duh. Let's go to NASA. NASA's take on gas pressure. The molecules are in constant random motion and frequently collide with each other and with the walls of the container. Because the molecules are in motion, a gas will expand to fill the container. Since density is defined to be the mass divided by the volume, density depends directly on the size of the container in which a fixed mass of gas is confined. So what do we got? We got 3 sentences, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 sentences, containers in each sentence. They must be on to something. From Chem Lieber text, pressure is caused. Here we got another causal reaction. Like up here, causes. Seems like they're on the same sheet of music. Maybe they're just parroting each other. Pressure is caused by gas molecules hitting the walls of the container. With a smaller volume, the gas molecules will hit the walls more frequently, and so the pressure increases. Next block of instruction, how to sit down. Then point at a horse. So the necessary antecedents that cause gas pressure are, number 1, the rapid motion and collisions of molecules. And collisions with what? Number 2, the walls of a container. This is quite elementary. Take either 1 or 2 away and you don't have gas pressure. No amount of linguistic or mathematical acrobatics will change it. None. You'll just make a horse's ass out of yourself. By the way, newsflash, you can't have volume without a container either. So say bye-bye now to your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. Of course, I'm not done. Back to spinning space monkeys. Remember, it's trademarked. From their alma mater wiki, Boyle's law, sometimes referred to as Boyle-Mariotte law, or Mariotte's law, especially in France, is an experimental gas law. I don't think so. that describes how the pressure of a gas tends to increase as the volume of the container decreases. Now, that is true. That is, you can prove that by experiment. Now that I'm looking at that. I digress. We'll get back to it. Boyle's law, this is from chemistry from Penn State. Boyle's law, or the pressure volume law, yeah, I'm laughing, states that the volume, there's a point here, states that the volume of a given amount of gas held at constant temperature varies inversely with the applied pressure when the temperature and mass are constant. Their formula for you. That V is proportional to 1 over P. V is proportional to the inverse of P, in other words. So how can you have, this lends directly to the next question, how can you have a volume without a container? If we want to go down that road with the gas laws. So let's go to their alma mater wiki again. Let's see what volume is. Volume is the quantity of a three-dimensional space enclosed by a closed surface. I don't know, but that sounds like a container to me. For example, the space that a substance that is a solid, liquid, gas, or plasma or shape occupies or contains. Here we go. Contains. Volume is often quantified numerically using the SI-derived unit, the cubic meter. The volume of a container is generally understood to be the capacity of the container, i.e., that is, the amount of fluid, gas, or liquid that the container could hold, rather than the amount of space the container itself displaces. How many sentences here? How many times in the definition of volume do you see container? It's a whole bunch. For good reason. So get ready. Say bye-bye now to your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion, because you can't describe any of the gas laws without a container. Shocking, I know. Spinning space monkeys trademark. Everyone knows what this is. This is the ideal gas law. PV equal nRT. It's just the generalization of Boyle's gas law. V equals, see this V right here? That is volume. So, if that is volume and you've got no container for your gas, show V without a container. You see how this is going? It's not looking good for you. Question, how you can have volume without a container, like I said. From back to Alma Mater Wiki, we might as well just stay here, right? Because they're defining it for you. I'm not going to do it again. You know what it says. It says container till the cows come home. So say bye-bye now to your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. Let's move on to the next one. From the trademark again, spinning space monkeys. Boyle's gas law, otherwise known as the pressure volume law. We talked about that previously up here. We'll do it again. For a fixed mass of gas at constant temperature, the volume is inversely proportional to the pressure. This is mathematically PV equal K. Guess what this V stands for? You'd never guess it. P denotes the pressure of the system. V denotes the volume of the gas. K is a constant value representative by the temperature and volume of the system. So, guess what my next question is going to be? Yeah, you have to put it up on a roulette wheel, right, to guess where I'm going with this. Yeah. Say bye-bye now to your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. This citation right here ends it. It ends it. I can just post this citation and then go clean the bathroom. Okay? This is from the old entropy site.oxy.edu. This is from the legendary Professor Frank Lambert, who is a god in second law of thermodynamics in academia. Take my word for it. This is what he says. It doesn't come from this one. I have the updated website. Don't worry about it. Listen closely. Gas expansion into a vacuum. This is right on topic to what our genre is. I digress. Gas expansion into a vacuum, the mixing of ideal gases or liquids, diffusion, effusion, colligative effects, and osmosis. Each fundamentally involves an increase in entropy, baby. That's right. An increase in entropy. Due to the increased dispersion of energy with no change in total energy in the case of ideal substances, due to the greater number of microstates for the particular system involved. That's it, baby. Because if you say that gas will not expand into a vacuum without a container, you are in direct violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Why? Because you're decreasing entropy. That doesn't happen in nature, folks. Not in nature, it doesn't. Man can thwart it with his little contraptions for a while, but it will invariably and inevitably continue to increase in entropy. That's even outside the scope of this because this is a natural law. But I digress. Number one, according to the fairy tale narrative, there's a vacuum surrounding their spinning ball. We obviously have gas that's atmospheric pressure. Number three, the Earth is not a sealed container. Number four, the gas pressure is not expanding into the vacuum. You see the connection? It's not doing that. Ergo, the ball-tard spinning space monkey Earth defies the laws of entropy. That is the second law of thermodynamics. And remember, psst, from Arthur Eddington in 1930, if your theory is found to be against the second law of thermodynamics, which it is, it's not your theory, it's an abject knucklehead speculation. But if your knucklehead speculation is found to be against the second law of thermodynamics, I can give you no hope. There is nothing for your theory but to collapse in the deepest humiliation. See, that's what's been actually happening to you baltards for about 7 years now. Right? I know you don't know it. Your slobber nurses haven't let you know, but that's what's actually been happening. Let's get into containers. From sciencelearn.org, the atoms and molecules in gases are much more spread out than in solids or liquids. We went over this above. They vibrate and move freely at high speeds. A gas will fill any container, but if the container is not sealed, the gas will escape. But I'm not going to go over Will again. I think you guys got it. Hillbilly Blue Balls doesn't, but I think you guys got it. From the University of North Carolina, gases behave differently from other two commonly studied states of matter, solids and liquids. They made a distinction here between liquids and gases. But what are you going to say? They're both fluids, right? They're fluids. Fucking clowns. I digress. Gases behave differently from the other two commonly studied states of matter, solids and liquids, so we have different methods for treating and understanding how gases behave under certain conditions. Gases, unlike solids and liquids, have neither fixed volume nor shape. They are molded entirely by the container in which they are held. Again, from chemistry, Elmhurst, the pressure of a gas is the force the gas exerts from the walls of a container. I'm not going to go through NASA's one again. I already did it twice. Let's get one for, this is one for tutoring children from school tutoring. Gas. It has no shape. Remember the atmosphere? Remember that? Gas, it has no shape or size of its own. It takes the shape of its container and occupies the space given to it. Go ahead and briefly touch. You haven't heard too much of this lately. It used to be a hot topic because ballers have a difficult time in understanding what open, closed, and isolated systems are. Let's find out what they are from Chem Libretext, and I'll back it up with the Khan Academy. An open system is a system that freely exchanges energy and matter with its surroundings. Pretty easy. It's open. A closed system is a system that exchanges only energy with its surroundings, not matter. So we're dealing with two principles here, energy and matter. A closed system only exchanges, that only means one. Follow? An isolated system does not exchange energy or matter with its surroundings. That's the differences. To back it up, to make sure that this isn't QE, Khan Academy, an open system can exchange both energy and matter with its surroundings. Let me tell you something, folks. This is like before junior high school. If you're headed towards a science or scientific background, you have to know this. This is a given. Just wanted to let you know. An open system can exchange both energy and matter with its surroundings. A closed system, like again, it's mirroring up above. On the other hand, can exchange, here's that word again, only energy. You see that? With its surroundings, not matter. It's almost verbatim. Yeah. You know why? Because that's what it is. An isolated system is one that cannot exchange either matter or energy with its surroundings. And by the way, and there has never been an isolated system identified in nature. idiots spinning space monkeys. Because there is very little matter exchanged between the Earth and space, the Earth is essentially a closed system. So, a closed system is a system that exchanges only energy with its surroundings, not matter. So I went ahead and defined only. Only is used to show that something is limited to not more than or is not anything other than the people, things, amount, or activity stated. I'll give you a backup. That was from Dictionary Cambridge. Here's Merriam-Webster. Only as a single factor instance and nothing more or different. Oh, I did a third one. I defined not. Yeah, sometimes I could be a wise ass, but they provoke me. Not used as a function word to make negative a group of words or a word. We can move on from that. P.S. From ScienceAlert.com. We got a problem here. The Earth loses hundreds of tons of atmosphere to space every day. By definition, your fairy tale ball Earth is an open system. Number 2, a closed system is like an isolated system in engineering. We've heard that before. Somebody who's recently passed away, and then people have mindlessly parroted that. So listen to that again. A closed system is like an isolated system in engineering. So the differing factor in their fairy tale worldview is engineering. Or is it? Did they just make that shit up? Yeah. According to Anne-Marie Helmenstein, Ph.D. Biomedical Sciences, B.A. Physics and Mathematics, a closed system is a concept used in thermodynamics, physics and engineering, and in chemistry. It differs from an isolated system, directly debunking the made-up horseshit here. Yeah, this is just, it's nonsense. Spinning space monkeys, trademarked. I'm going to close it out here. Say bye-bye now to your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion. Questions, comments? Do I still have anybody in here?
What you said? Questions?
Questions,
Wait
comments?
for Betty Neal.
Okay.
We're listening. We're listening.
I wanted to ask. You said half of the gases. What'd you say about that? Half of them are lost every what? How long?
Every day. I think that's what.
Where are the other half?
Hold on a second. Let me go back up and make sure I get it right. From ScienceAlert.com, the Earth loses hundreds of tons of atmosphere to space every day.
So it loses air. So where's the rest of the air? And what isn't all the air? That violates everything you just read.
Correct.
If only half of them are gone.
Correct. Well, I stressed that to make sure that they knew what we were talking about was an open system. Right? That's why I went over the definitions of open and closed systems just above. Yeah. Good? Oh, I'm sorry. Good. I didn't have it on there. So this is where I got it right here. And like I said, I went over open and closed systems above so I can stress that point that the Earth must be an open system. Right? Because if it's exchanging matter with it, it's not a closed system. See this up here? Let's go over this again. A closed system is a system that exchanges only energy with its surroundings, not matter. Well, their fairy tale atmosphere is matter, so it can't be a closed system. See it? I did that quick. You may have missed that.
I got it.
Yep.
That claim, I think relates to gravity.
Adam.
I knew it.
Unfortunately, it does, I think, because of what's just been stated. They claim gravity keeps air here. But then they have to realise that because it's rockets can go out to space, and the way rockets go out to space and off to the moon is they achieve a escape velocity. So they pretend that, unfortunately, even though there's gravity, some of these gas particles can escape the pull of gravity because they attain the correct escape velocity, and that's what they're talking about. So it's a kind of apologetics because they realise there can't be no loss with no containment. even with the magic of gravity.
Did I do them a disservice by not putting gravity in here?
I think it should maybe, because it's better than those male testosterone pumps that just keep coming up for no reason.
Oh my God! Thanks for honey. Can you take the knife out of my back for me, please, from Adam?
I don't know. It's like a little prompt, because you read it for you to go like, "Roar!" Get like a man roar. Or something,
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened with that. It's just one of those aberrations that Arwen talks about. I don't ask me. The reason I didn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to summarize now. I think it's just like one of those geeky calculated consequence, because it's not real, obviously. So somebody sat down and done that application of gravity, how it negates kinetic energy of gas particles, and figured out that some of them that are flying in certain directions, just like your NASA rocket has to go in a certain direction to get escape velocity. Some of them will achieve that, and that's what they're kind of calculating there. I assume to get to that particularly made up number. It's just hundreds of tons.
Yeah, it's 100. Yeah,
exactly hundreds.
There is. So Betty, you still out there?
Yep.
Do you think that I did a disservice by not portraying the Baltards' point about gravity and holding their fairy tale atmosphere to the Earth? Do you think it would have been really long, because I would have to then go through gravity? I mean, both types, how they don't exist, they're not scientifically valid, and then go through an example, even with, and I can just do it now, even if you get that remark that gravity is responsible, don't worry about it. Don't go down the gravy train. Just say this. Just say, I will give you all of Newtonian gravity, all that you want, times 1 billion. On top of that, I'm going to give you all general relativity gravity times 1 billion. You can sum those up, and that will not affect the entropy of gases 1 iota. My shining example, it would never rain on the Earth if that were true. Why?
Shoot.
Why?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Why? Well, what happens when...
Ask me a question.
Say again?
Yeah, you sort of tried to get me into the conversation. You tended to ask me something, and then you diverted away again.
I'm sorry if I did that.
The thing is that I do find that if I'm talking about this topic, that everybody will go, that the numpties or the people unknowing, because most people are not knowing, they will immediately say something about gravity.
So what you're saying is that I should put my spill in here, is what you're trying to tell me.
Yes. Or maybe make a debunk on gravity. Because it's not a flat Earth proof, but it is a debunking of, right?
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you. I failed miserably in not putting that in here.
This is what it is. You're perfectly correct. This is a flat Earth proof, right? It is something that it's not, right? There is no vacuum of space. More people latch on to that, but not everybody is going to believe you because of the gravity thing, right? And it's sort of an add-on that could be nice to have attached and make it simple, right? Not
Try to be as concise. That's what can I go ahead and do that now?
You can do it now, but you also need to change your website.
Davey!
Help!
Okay, all right, Betty, fair enough. And I'm sorry I cut you off. Maybe I asked that question rhetorically and I didn't wait for your answer. I think I already knew what your answer was, because I asked the question and I asked the question to myself and I already answered it. That's
Asking
why.
the question is answering it?
Yeah, I already answered it myself and I knew what your answer was going to be.
One quick super chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's from Don't Shoot the Messenger, and it says the second law of triangle dynamics.
Yep. It's not going to end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go on.
All right. So
You
thank you.
include it.
Oh, brother. Go ahead, Adam.
It doesn't seem like you need to add much. Just one citation with regards to gravity effect on gas behavior. It's a quick Google search. I'm just doing that. Effect of gravity on gas behavior. Thus, gravity has no effect on the collisions of molecules. So that's all that needs to be done. These are things we know, we can experience. Gas pressure.
But I can do it better. Yours is a little less or a little more concise than mine, but it's not going to be that much longer if I could be allowed to finish it.
Well, the only point I was making is it doesn't deserve anything more than that. You've addressed it in a number of ways in terms of describing gas behavior. So
I disagree.
Oh, Neil, chill. You've addressed it in a number of ways. I think if you went into describing why these made-up concepts and dimensions that we don't have can't be applied, it would confuse the issue. I think it's sufficient to say in physics, there's a statement that gravity has no effect on gas behavior. 2 or 3 citations if you want, but no more details required. Describe what entropy is. We've described gas behavior. We've described systems. Sufficient. All you need is the disclaimer from the world of physics, the science of physics, i.e. it's knowledge based, that easily citable statement that gravity does have no effect on gas behavior.
All right, so in conclusion, you're in agreement with the Betty that I should have something here.
Just P.S. If you're going to invoke gravity, here's another one.
Please don't.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Neil.
No, I was going to say I think you should, because there's a guy telling me that there is a law of gravitation and that there are no 2 different gravities. They both go hand in hand. I know we've heard that before. But sometimes when you keep pounding it through, it might not get through to the numpties, but it may persuade others to pay more attention.
I agree, Neil. I'm noticing a shortcoming. I noticed it when I finished the presentation. So I should at least, Davey, my website designer, we need your help, dude.
He needs to do a bit that says gas don't go down, go boom, boom. And that'll be sufficient.
Or splash, splash. Don't go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. Adam, that's the full statement. Okay, so my remedy, like I was interrupted before, and justifiably so by Betty. Here's my remedy, so I don't go down too many incoherent pathways. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give you all of Newtonian gravity, the universal law of gravitation. I'm just going to outright give it to you. I'll let you times it by 1 billion. And then I'm going to give you all of general relativity, all the space-time curvature you want times 1 billion. And then you could sum those 2 up, and you got that. I'm giving you that. In that particular case, their effects will not affect the entropy of gases 1 iota. My shining example, the water cycle. Because if gravity affected gas molecules, it would never friggin' rain. Let me try to explain this to you. It's called evaporation. You know how it rains on the earth? Yeah, this evaporation thing. You see the sun, and there's some other mechanisms, they break the hydrogen bonds in water. And when that happens, water turns into a gas. And which direction does it go? Up! Up! Where gravity, its vector is only down! Down! So that's a contradiction in terms. And say bye-bye now to the ball-tart spinning space monkey religion. Say, that's pretty concise, don't you think?
I agree. Gas goes up and go bye-bye. I like that.
Good.
Yeah, and what is atmosphere contained of?
Gas?
Gases?
Yeah.
Multiple. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mixture of gases?
So what I'm saying is that little spill, it won't take up that much room. I can make it a little bit more concise. Adam, so it's you, sir.
I understand what you're saying, but if you're going to invoke hydrogen bonding and increase to gain,
Maybe I'll take the hydrogen bonding out. Remember, this is for the public.
that's what I'm saying. Is I get your point. I'd just go with the many citations that there is no effect of gravity on gas molecules.
Yeah, we got your opinion before, but I want to give a real world example, especially for people, the public. We're talking to, Joe Numpty and Betty Breadmaker. I used Betty that time.
Why?
Okay, tell them to go and blow up a balloon, leave it, and see if the gas collects at the bottom.
No, they can't. They're gonna get the rain thing. They went through the water cycle in school, Adam.
See, the problem is here, Adam. You're letting your brain get in the way.
That's what I keep telling them.
The rain example is perfect. Take it from this normie, numpty, Joe, build the block.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, Adam. See?
Okay, well that's good then. So D-Rose, is that D-Rose, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Explain to me why it smashes that then.
Jeez, oh man.
Because one of the basic things we learn in school as a child is how rain, the process of rain and the exchange of the vaporization of the humidity and the earth's heat and, the different temperatures of the sky and the earth and how that kind of makes things change the same way, your walls sweat when it gets a little bit warm. And, so little things like that is little simple demonstrations that children understand. So the way QE broke it down, that process couldn't happen. It just would not be able to happen.
Why? Because I'm going to say to you, no. The only reason it went up, D-Rose, is because it couldn't go down because there was water in the way. So as it attains enough energy to get the latent heat of vaporization, it leaves the surface. Well, it can't go into the surface because that would preclude it from becoming a gas. It would just be a hotter water molecule. So the only way it can go, due to its kinetic energy, is to release in away from the surface. That's why it goes up. It's not anything else. It can't go down at this point.
Still defies it, right? It still defies the downward bias. I'm sorry.
And there's no bias at all. There's just, as you flat earthers like to say, containment. There's a surface of water there. It can't go down and be a gas, can it? Because
it could remain
on hover.
No.
In a zen-like state. No, the only way for it to go once it's been turned into a gas, it's not because any other reason that it's precluded from going down.
Betty, I get the feeling that Adam doesn't like my example.
I agree, but I still say it's good.
I'm just road testing it with you guys. I'm asking you to explain it. I'm being a bit of a baller. You're not smashing me.
It's not becoming. I already did smash it.
I'm not on about you. You just said it's a good way of disseminating this point. So I'm just
still got to go up. Regardless, it still has to go up. It goes up before it comes down as rain. End of gravity, it's over.
It only goes halfway up. It don't keep going up. It only goes halfway up.
Doesn't matter. Still going up, to the side, to the other side, down, destroying gravity.
It only goes so far because water molecules are a bit bigger than some others, you see. It just pulls it a bit more, and that's why it only gets so far.
Stick to your guns, Neil.
I am. That's all I'm going to say.
There's four words.
Smashes it.
4 words that you use. Tell them again.
It's still going up.
It can only get so far because it's only got so much energy because it's not naturally a gas, you see.
Which way is that going?
So it's got reduced energy. So the pull of gravity on it only allows it to get as high as the clouds. That's all.
You said a key word though. You said hover. So for something to hover,
that was Neil's initial claim. It could stay where it is, and I said what hover.
I meant as water.
Okay.
I meant as water, not as hovering in the air.
Don't let him red herring fallacy away, Neil. Stick to your guns. What's the 4 words?
Still going up.
It's gone up, but because of gravity, it can only get so far. Like, you don't see clouds dead high. They only go so far, don't they? And then that's because the gravity's pulled it so far. And then when that strength is disequilibrated, and you'll get rain, it'll either dissipate or turn into rain and come back down. But it can only go so far. It's not going up forever, is it?
But which way is it going again?
Well, in terms of the water layer, the water dissipates at higher altitudes. You don't get it, do you?
Which way the gas
Answer his
is going?
question. Yeah, answer his question. Which way is it going?
Which way? Well, it goes up and then ultimately down. And it can only go so far up, and then ultimately it comes down.
Stick to your guns.
Comes down as what? Down as what?
Stick to your
I've
guns,
never seen
man.
clouds. I've never seen clouds at the height of like balloon footage. You don't get
So you're
clouds.
saying the clouds come down?
They can't go that high
claiming
because of gravity.
He's getting you guys. He's giving
He's
you.
not. How many times I gotta say which way did it go? Up. Doesn't matter if it's going up. Defying what you said.
Yeah,
is
went
the
up.
downward bias down.
He's got a
Not
fatal
all of it
flaw.
up.
Hold up. He's got a fatal flaw in his argument that needs just a little attention, not too much. Stick with the 4 words.
Goes up until it gets to the temperature change, gets cooler, and then goes to a phase change. There you go, Adam.
I think gravity's taking a lot of its kinetic energy to allow that phase change to happen. It's not necessary because you get you go up a lot higher into the thermosphere. It's got loads of energy. There's no water up there.
What?
Thermosphere. Right, when you get up there, yeah. So it'd have plenty of energy, but it can't get that high because the gravity just sucks all its energy, and forces it to turn into clouds and vapor, and then it ultimately comes back down with that reduction of kinetic energy.
What does it come back down
as gravity?
Oh,
its
Neil got
energy.
you. Go ahead, Neil.
What does it come back down as?
Well, sometimes it comes down as water in a liquid state, but sometimes it can just bounce back down.
No longer a gaseous state, right? Now it's water.
Now, other times, gravity is going to pull some of those molecules down. The one that just hit a molecule and it's on a downward directory anyway, gravity is going to apply a faster force to pull it down to the earth more. And then
So
it'll
gas
hit the
went
water
up,
and be absorbed back into the
turned to
water.
water, and came back down. Gravity's done.
I'm trying to get in here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, right.
Can I try
I've
with
only got
another
a few
example?
more minutes of ball wind left in me. Carry on.
I can't believe I missed this entire show. I've been waiting for this, but since you are playing the Glover here, can I take another example?
No,
QE, do I have
no, we're only testing QE's example just to make sure it's
No, so I wanted to know how much you know about gas behavior as a Glover. So I have some simple questions, high school chemistry level.
Uh-oh.
You answer those? You're a chemist, right?
Yeah, I'm out.
Come on, Arthur, let's rumble. Let's go. Come on.
All right. Are you aware of Avogadro's postulate?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Very nice. So, let me give you an example. We have 2 flasks, flask A and flask B. They are just containers of gas. So, you can put in gas in those containers and they are not going to leak. So, in flask A, you create a vacuum as powerful as possible with our instruments. We create a vacuum and then insert 1 mole of helium gas inside that container. All right. In flask B, we again do the same thing. We first create a vacuum and then insert carbon dioxide in flask B and same 1 mole. So as far as we are keeping the pressure same, the volume obviously of the 2 flasks is constant, is equal. and the temperature is also constant, then which one of the flask is going to weigh more? Flask A with helium or flask B with carbon dioxide?
Weight's not applicable. I'm not sure what the flasks are made of.
I mean, everything about flask A and flask B is same. All their characteristics and properties is same. Weight, shape, size, volume, everything.
You're going to need an accurate balance.
We got all that. We can measure those flasks on a normal weighing scale.
So technically, I would say there's no difference that you're going to measure.
You're wrong.
What you're going to then try and claim is that the molecular, relative molecular weights of the molecules will have an impact in terms of their pressure exerted to the volume. And I would agree. But like I'm saying, I think that's what I'm saying. You'd need a very accurate balance to demonstrate that if you've got just 1 mole of each in the container.
Let's say we got that. It is going to be discernible. It can be done with even...
But fundamentally, at this point, you're not measuring weight, are you?
We are putting it on a weighing scale.
You're registering gas pressure on a scale, which isn't weight. You're not measuring the weight.
So what are we doing when we are putting those flasks on a weighing scale? We are not weighing them?
Well, you can weigh the flasks, can't you?
But that's the question. With different gases inside those flasks, are they going to be weighing different?
It's not applicable to say, are they going to be weighing different? You're putting gases in the flasks.
Either they are or they are not.
No, it's a retarded statement. It's to completely not comprehend gas behavior, fluid behavior, solid behavior, how they disperse their pressure, and understand the definition of weight.
You screwed up halfway through. I did not even get to the end of it.
I know, but I can't do that. Even as a baller, yeah, you can't do that. There is no.
Yes. Do we have any other experts here who are going to answer this question? Flask A or flask B? Which one is going to weigh more? It is obvious. Flask B with carbon dioxide.
1 mole. How big's the flask?
The same size, flask A or flask B, it doesn't matter. They just have to be the same size.
It matters tremendously when you're dealing with gases.
Let's say they are cubes.
Let's say they're the size of a swimming pool.
Yeah, but you are going to have to weigh them, right? On a weighing scale. So let's keep it small.
Why? Why are you wanting to do that?
Just for demonstration. We are trying to demonstrate something.
No, just for demonstration. Let's keep it the size of a shopping mall. 1 mole into the.
How are you going to weigh it?
And we know the weight of the shopping mall. And we're going to just evacuate and put 1 mole in that. What's it weighing now?
Are you being unreasonable like a glober to stick to the likes of a glober?
Don't know. It's one of my bugbears, this, as people try to weigh gases.
So that is what ties in these two things, pressure and weight. That is what demonstrates that flask A is going to weigh less. The next part of my question was going to be, please just bear with me. So the third flask, flask C, you are going to create a vacuum inside that flask and not put any gas. Just keep it vacuum and then weigh it. My next question would have been to the experts also, is the flask with vacuum, flask C, going to weigh more or less than flask A with helium? Remember, helium has an upward vector, right? Helium is a light gas. So flask C with vacuum inside or flask A with helium inside, which one is going to weigh more? This is high school level chemistry, and the moment you understand that the one with helium is going to weigh more, there you have it. That was our episode number 97, Ballbusters, where you chat with ChatGPT, and that is what Brian proves. This is just another form of saying the same thing with gas pressure inside flasks. You do not have to go up in the atmosphere and say that gas is going up and up and up. It is demonstrable at a high school laboratory level, and you can do it with very simple instruments also. I rest my case.
Damn, he smoked you, Adam.
I'm a bit lost.
Well, what always interested me was when I have a gas fire pit, and I have 3 tanks, 40 pounds of so-called, it's either butane or propane. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't matter. I don't know if butane is quote unquote heavier or lighter than propane, or they're the same. But when I lift that damn can and it's supposed to be empty, it feels just as heavy as it does when I pick it up from the store and it's supposed to be full of gas. And it says on there, 40 pounds.
Well, I beg to
So-
differ. I work with my brother. I lift up them refrigerant gases, and when they're filled, it's heavier.
You do, you know the ones I'm talking about, right? The ones from AmeriGas.
Yeah, I use them for refrigerant.
So you actually feel this. You feel the difference.
Absolutely.
Now I got to do it again because I think that's how I try to differentiate which one needs to be replaced, by doing a lift test, and I can't. I have to take it over to the hose, set it up, and then try to light it up, and then I'll be like, okay, this one is done. I can't do it by the lift.
We tell by how much refrigerant is in there by the condensation line. That's about how much would be in there. But when they're totally filled up, you do feel a difference. Now, halfway and lower, you really can't tell. But when they're totally filled up, you definitely can tell.
Okay, so I always thought the can was contributing to the 40 pounds, or the formula is if you have a 40-pound can and you fill a 40-pound can that is a solid, that is 40 pounds, and you fill it to the full capacity of gas, that kind of makes it 40 pounds worth of gas. Or what portion of the gas, because the can empty still has weight to it, the point I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you put that can that's supposed to be empty and you put that can on a scale, what is that can going to weigh if that can is officially considered empty? Is it going to be 40 pounds, the solid can, or will it be lighter? You understand what I'm saying? That's what always made me so curious of how when they talk about can you weigh gas, or certain gases can be weighed, but some don't have any weight, and et cetera, et cetera. That can's gonna get on that scale is gonna be 35 pounds. Is it gonna be 40 pounds? Which means, like I said again, which means whether it's a 20-pound can, if it's empty at 20 pounds, when you fill it to its full capacity of that gas, that right there equates to the definition of 20 pounds worth of yada, yada, yada gas.
Adam, do you have some issues with this?
Bunkum. Okay, go and weigh some gas and then tell me how many molecules. Why do we weigh stuff? I weigh a solid or a liquid. I'm trying to work out how many molecules, yeah? Come back to Avogadro, yeah? Gas. So go and weigh a gas and tell me how many molecules I've got. How do I work out how many molecules I've got, John? Can I weigh something and it's a gas? Or do I need its pressure and volume?
Pressure and volume?
I think you need the pressure and volume, yes.
What use would weight be to me? If I said I've got this tank here and it weighs this much, right? What use is that information for me to know how many molecules are in the tank?
That's the point I was saying. If you fill that tank up to its full capacity with that gas, then
I'm going to give it to you now. My brother just sent me. It depends on refrigerant. 410 needs heavier metal, so could be 10 to 12 pounds empty. Yes, it's more full. The refrigerant has specific weight. So I don't know. That's what he just texted me back, and he's doing this for like 30 years with the HVAC. So the can only weighs 12 pounds, he's saying.
Yeah, lovely.
So if you're buying 40 pounds of it, it has to have some weight, correct?
Yeah. How many molecules is that then? So
I
that's
have
28.
no
Is that,
clue.
that's 28 pound of gas you got. How many molecules?
I don't know. I guess that goes by what you said, the pressure and the volume.
Does the convention of weight relate to gas? Is it applicable for me to work out molecules? However, I've
I don't think so.
contained it at unknown pressure. Can I take that weight value and convert it to molecules?
I don't think so.
No, you can't.
You need to know the
It's lovely,
atomic
right?
mass
And
of
if you go into the fill up, if you go into the fill up point, and they go, oh, go, bring your canister over and you fill it up to such high pressure, you've got liquid sloshing around in the bottom, and they know when it gets to 40 pounds, that's equivalent to sort of this much psi, yeah, and this much liquid under it, yeah, and it contain that. Lovely, off you go. That's great, isn't it? When I'm selling propane, right? Because it don't need to be that accurate. If I'm being a chemist, that value's of no use to me.
There you go. You hit it right in the head.
If I'm wanting to actually know the number of molecules and express it in that way, like I use the term weight for solids and liquids, it's no use to me. I don't have to be a chemist. I just have to recognize it's not an equivalence. That makes sense, Neil. I can use it to sell propane and propane accessories if I want. Can't use it to quantify it in terms of actual molecules. Like I do with weight. I weigh something, I know how many. If I know what it is, I can actually calculate how many molecules. If I want to do that with gas, then I'm going to use Avogadro's postulates, yeah? I'm going to use that knowledge that the pressure and the volume will define for me the number of molecules, how many moles I've got, because that's how many molecules are hitting the surface of the containment. Another convention, but that's the convention we use to quantify gas, not weight.
So Adam, the explanation for the question I asked basically proves what you're saying. Why does the one with a vacuum weigh less than the one with helium? Because nothing obviously weighs less than something. Helium is something, which is why the one with helium weighs more than the one with vacuum. So if you create a flask, and if you have a flask and you create a vacuum inside that flask, it is going to weigh less than when you keep the flask normally without creating a vacuum. The reason for that is the gas around it is putting more buoyant force to a vacuum as compared to the one which has a helium, which in turn has more buoyant force as compared to the one with nitrogen, which in turn has more buoyant force as compared to the
how
one
far
with
are we going to go with this?
just carbon dioxide.
Yeah,
we were
Do
going.
sulfur hexafluoride. Do sulfur hexafluoride, Arthur.
That's not natural gas.
Cheeky rascal.
Betty.
Yeah, that's the super chat. And it's from James Richard, and he says, put on scale, calibrate to 0. Put on scale, calibrate to 0. Fill can place on scale, that's the weight of gas.
Adam.
Yeah, ta-da.
Ta-da.
Good luck in life.
Okay, is that it?
I saw years ago. Look, I saw a video once where like a GCSE thing, weighing a balloon, and they actually said the best thing is to sellotape it to the scales. Stops it moving.
Take us home, Adam.
Take us-
No, I'm not. I'm only kidding. I just wanted a reaction from Betty.
You won't be home till bedtime.
So gas has no weight, right?
Oh no, God! It's not to say that, is it? You can't weigh gas.
Oh boy, it has pressure.
I'm not doing this anymore. You
Hey,
trolling me.
Adam's not doing it anymore.
You just had a beautiful thing about how gases behave. Yeah, you've got to comprehend that. What are they doing? Even if they're on the, even if you've put them on the scales, you're going to say, "Oh, boys, line up, sit down for a minute while I weigh you."
Was it a case that you're just weighing the container plus the pressure of the gas inside the container?
Yeah, what makes up the pressure? Is it all of the molecules, or the impact of the molecules on the walls of the container?
The latter.
Okay.
The latter.
Oh,
Am I right?
same as weight. Is
Adam?
that the same as weight? Is everything going down? When we put a solid or a liquid in containment, all of the pressure goes down, doesn't it? It's in a downward direction. There's nothing leaving the surface of the scale. Nothing having just hit the top of the container and on its way back down, but not touching anything else.
I think we're done for today. Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gives us a nice time to chill out.
Yes, ma'am. Are you going to take us home?
Okay, people, follow me. Open the door. You're home.
Really? We can't finish yet.
No, Adam, we are home. We close the door. It's done.
Have I put my slippers on?
Yes.
In the home. Yes.
All right, I'm going to get my pipe. Good night.
Take off your shoes before you get home, okay? Before you enter the home. Leave them at the door. And that's it.
Say bye, Betty.
Bye, Betty.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back with you on Saturday, like I said in the beginning here. Don't know which direction we're going to go, but I'm sure we'll have some type of direction coming up on Saturday. So, listen, hang in there, guys. And we'll catch you on the flip side. QE out. We're lost, Nathan. What do we do? You're the navigator.
I've got to calculate the height. Quick, sharp. How high is that star? Get on it.
How do we calculate the height, Nathan?
I don't know, but it's going to save our lives if we figure it out quick, sharp, when we're lost here.
Or you know actually how high it really is.
Hold on a second. Maybe someone on board already knows the height.